Oh, yeah, let me
All
check.
right, let's do some intro first. So we're going to do the countdown clock. You know, I had to make it extra cinematic.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So, oh no, lost Mr. and Mrs. Savage. I guess they're gonna sign in soon. All right. So, first and foremost, up to this point, general thoughts about the whole show.
Oh yeah, you go first. Huh?
Up till episode like 4, I was like holding on to it mostly by watching the Easter egg stuff. Like it was cute, but like I was expecting a lot more, like how episode 6 went through, like from the beginning.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So, because I'm a diehard Marvel fan, I am all about defending Marvel's honor in any situation. Right?
Yeah.
And the first 2 episodes, the only reason I even stayed is because I'm like, all right, Marvel, I trust you. Let's see where this is going. I don't understand it, but let's see where this is going. I'm going to hold on tight and just pay attention to things that I may or may not recognize, right?
Right.
So then by the 3rd episode, I was like, go on, right?
Right.
Then episode 4 blew it all the way open for me. Now I was like, okay, this is the Marvel I know. I am sticking around.
I agree, man, because I agree with you 100%. The first episode, it was some poo-poo until like the middle of the episode, right? Where Wanda started like zoning out here and there, and then I was like, "Oh, something going on." It's giving me those Twilight Zone vibes, and by the end of the episode, that really hooked me. Like when you see that someone is watching them on TV from like a whole, and it's like a whole different universe. It feel like, you know.
Yeah.
And then the second episode, it was cool, but you started catching on to other characters like Agnes, and she's always around Wanda, and
she always happens to pop up when they need something or when they're starting to catch on to something. She's always popping up and distracting them from it.
Yep. And third episode started heating up, and like you said, the 4th episode that really got me. Like,
yes.
The last 3 episodes been something else, man.
They have. And it was like little glimpses of stuff that was just, they were really good at capturing the unsettling moments.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the part in episode, I think it was 3. Episode 3 when the beekeeper came out of the man.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I was like, what is going on? Because this whole time I was like bright and chipper, and then this happened, and I'm like, I feel strange.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they away from it.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Hold on. Oh my gosh, Shimoon the link. Let me shoot Shimoon the link. But no, man, this is I really feel like this is probably the most different thing I've ever seen Marvel do.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Mitch, what were your thoughts leading up to, from the beginning of the show all the way to this latest episode? What were your thoughts, your emotional your emotional roller coaster. How was that during the whole process?
I mean, as I stated to you in private when it first came out, I wasn't actually that excited for it because Wanda and Vision are like two of my least favorite characters, to be honest. But throughout this show, that has significantly changed, like astronomically. Like I'm so much more in love with Vision than how I was originally, and Wanda's starting to be one of those characters that is kind of hard to not love in a way. This show definitely does a good job at messing with your mind and making you think what is isn't and what isn't is, and it's almost worrying how good they are at doing that to you.
Yes.
It's like,
yeah. Faith, your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. The first episode caught me for a loop. On the phone. I was confused with the gray and white. And then the second one, it started making more sense, and I still feel lost. So I need a lot of answers.
Yeah, there were a lot of questions, and it was almost as if when episode 4 came along, it answered all the questions we had for the first 3 episodes.
Yeah,
right.
So, yeah, that was very refreshing.
Right.
I think the placement of the sword watch van at the very end of the first episode was probably one of the smartest choices they did with how they were structuring it, because I do not know if people would have stuck with it as long as they did if that wasn't right there at the end of the first episode. Like, something is bigger that's going on. You had to hang with us and wait for it.
When the camera zoomed out and showed up, and it was crazy because that hand ended up being Darcy's hand.
Yeah.
So that was pretty clever the way they did that. So we're gonna cut to the chase. We're gonna talk about the latest episode. I took some notes. I'm gonna run them past you guys, and you guys just give me your thoughts because man. Oh wait, hold up. Let me respond to Sham. Shimon. I gotta make sure he gets in. Definitely. Hold up. Copy. Boom.
Okay. I got it. Don't fall, please. A little nappy today. You know what I'm saying? Rock the nap.
We have those days. It was perfectly okay.
We got an excuse, quarantine.
Show you right.
Oh, man.
Okay. Now, first note that I have here. The intro was definitely inspired by Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Inspired by Malcolm in the Middle. Because I know that each intro, it was supposed to draw inspiration from a popular show from that particular time period. And I think I definitely picked up on the fact that was definitely Malcolm in the Middle. And it did a good job capturing that feel of how that show would start.
Mm-hmm.
So, I applaud Marvel for that. That was pretty cool. I give much kudos. I'm trying to figure out if there was any other inspiration other than Malcolm in the Middle for the intro, or if it was strictly just Malcolm in the Middle. Can you guys think of any? Or
I couldn't figure out anything else besides Malcolm.
Okay.
I've heard of something that I think is probably worth mentioning. I don't know how much truth there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
But someone on a video on YouTube, I wish I can cite it, had stated that Frankie Muniz has gone through some sort of trauma that's caused him to have memory loss of his time on the show.
I heard about
And they
that.
Really?
right, and they feel like that's something that they kind of sort of are playing into the characters in this episode, specifically Pietro and Wanda with their mismatched memories of their past.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Damn, that's kind of deep.
Yeah.
I don't know how much truth there is to that, but that's something to think about.
If that is indeed something that they've considered, then they've gone above and beyond with the layers of complexities in the show.
Right.
I agree.
That's not even anything that I would even think of. Huh. Okay. So now there was this other thing that I noticed. If I go back to my list here. Well, obviously everybody knows this, but every single costume was inspired by the comic book version.
Right.
Yeah.
That was cool. I really like that. I can pull up a picture. Boom. A little comparison there.
Look at that, man.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
Look at that.
They did
The
an
kids
excellent-
are the most exciting.
Yes,
Seeing those
Yes.
characters come to life.
Wicked and Speed. Like from the very beginning when he had that headband, I'm like, oh, so we starting right out the gate
Mhm.
Out the gate
comic-
with it.
comic accurate outfits. Okay, that's what's up. Let me see. Okay,
Let's see what.
this I don't know if this was noticed by anybody, but it kind of goes hand in hand with my theory that Pietro was not really Pietro.
Uh-oh.
Did anyone notice? Well, when he was laying on the couch and the kids were talking amongst themselves, and they were saying, gosh, hold up, let me add. Hey, where's? Oh, there he is. There he is.
Shimon.
Hey.
Oh, there
Shimon.
What's up?
he is. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
boy. Oh,
I
it's like
saw
the
they had you in purgatory. Good God.
What's good? Yeah, pretty much.
I don't see. Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. Okay, so the part where Uncle Pietro was laying on the couch, right? And he was like, "Oh man, he even snores cool." And then the other one was like, "Well, you're secretly scared of him because you think he's a vampire." I don't know if that alludes to anything vampire-like or evil-like. Maybe a devil. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being paranoid. But I thought
That's definitely paranoia.
that was quite cheeky.
I mean, at this point, you never know. It's like every little thing you grasp onto, like, could this be something? Because this show hides it that much. So I don't know at this point. Like,
But then,
maybe.
and there was this
Maybe.
other clip. There was this other clip that I could pull up actually when they were outside trick or treating. Pietro said something that was almost like, "Yo, is that like a hint as to what's really going on?" Let's see if I can play this video clip. They're outside. I think it's daytime. They just went outside, and Pietro says, "Hold up, where is that clip?" It was almost like they were just straight up telling us, "We're dropping a hint. Pay attention to what we just said. This is what's really going on." You heard that? I'm gonna run that back. Listen to what he says here.
Unleash hell, demon spawn!
Oh,
Yeah, I did catch that.
I was like,
You will miss that if you blink.
yeah. I was like, that's quite interesting. Why would, out of all the things he could possibly say, first of all, nobody's dressed up as a devil. Let's put that out there.
Look at his hair.
So why would you say give him hell, demon spawn specifically? Right? Once again, maybe this is just me reaching, but there might be something to that. I don't know. Not to mention the way the hair is. Yes, I know it's an homage to how we used to look in the comics, but it could also double as demon horns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mephisto.
Yep. Yep. That's what I'm
Wait,
thinking.
we were saying something earlier on about that GQ, like the who possibly is like sus, and we had like a list of people, didn't we? Who was
Yeah.
it?
So I was saying the people that I have my eye on, Agnes, obviously, because we think it's
Yeah.
Agatha Harkness.
Absolutely.
She's stuck at something at least.
Dottie, I think it was Dottie was the other one, the one that was.
Yes, Dottie was the one I thought was great. Because,
Mm-hmm.
no one's really said that about Dottie.
Because
And we haven't seen her for how many episodes now? Like 4?
Yeah. Remember the conversation they had during the planning of the talent show, and she was like, "The devil's in the devil's in the details, Bev." And then Agnes goes, "That's not the only place he is." Right? It was like, "Hello, look who it is."
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I don't know, man. I once again I feel like this show has turned me into a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
But it is fun to dig up these references.
That's what I love about.
Did anybody else find anything interesting about Pietro?
Not
He
wait. Who is gonna? Someone's gonna say something then.
No, I was gonna say, does anybody else find anything interesting about Pietro? And do you have any speculation?
The thing is,
whether he's really with him?
He's basically, apart from how he looks, he is clearly Pietro from the MCU because he's got the wit and he's got the memories of that Pietro, the Aaron Taylor Johnson Pietro, but he's been recast and you can see the joke there. But I think, like, you know, when Wanda, like, you know, she had that moment where she saw Vision dead and then she saw Pietro dead in this episode.
Right.
That wasn't the X-Men Pietro, clearly, because she could see the bullet holes and everything. But that could just be her imagination and her trauma kind of playing on, just kind of taking control. But I think it was interesting because you said, we were saying earlier on, like, you know, about how Nightmare kind of, he has more power the more vulnerable you get, I guess, or the more
yes, it feeds off of your fear and your anguish.
It's like how Hela feeds off Asgard. Like, basically, he gets more powerful. So maybe she's like, that's where he's kind of like taking power from her. That's why she sort of sees that.
No, that's possible.
I mean, I don't think we brought up earlier on, but because obviously this show ties in directly to Doctor Strange's movie. Right. I think I feel that, you know, one of these villains is gonna, you know, get the attention of Doctor Strange because he's the Sorcerer Supreme, and as you said to Tony, he has to look after the multiverse and look out for it of any threat. So obviously after Thanos, this guy's not going to be able to just sit on it. He's going to have to be like a security dog, like on it all the time, and he's going to have to look into every freaking like universe there is, possibly. I mean, think about how many he had to go through just to see when the Avengers win. So like I feel like obviously Wanda might lose control, as maybe at the end of the series she might lose control, and then that's obviously when Doctor Strange is like, I've got to step in and prevent anything from happening. I believe that Agnes is behind some sort of manipulation or some control, although it could be, you know, like we said, Nightmare, because in the comics Agnes was responsible for tutoring Wanda the chaos magic, but Wanda didn't know about chaos magic and the name of it. She kind of just realized she had this power, and Agnes was responsible. So I think Agnes might be controlling her to a point where she's, you know, using this power to you know, create a reality, because we'd never seen these powers before, neither did Wanda know that. So I think she might be, even though, you know, it's in the comics a little bit different, I think with the MCU they probably just want Agnes to sort of like control her like a puppet almost, but not directly, you know. It sounds like a bit of a stretch, but I don't know. I feel like there's maybe one or two people controlling Wanda.
At this point, I don't know what is a stretch and what isn't, because even with okay, so when they go back to the base, right?
Yeah.
And Director Hayward is talking to everybody, and he pulls up, like he says, what does he say? He says something along the lines of it's a nightmare or something like that. Hold up.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says,
I want to see a full workup inside the hour.
Hayward, you cut us off at the knees sending in that missile.
Now we know who we're dealing with.
Hey, there he is. The guy who almost got murdered by his own murder squad.
wait for it.
You work for me?
That's funny.
I actually don't know. He's with me.
I see. And which one of you is the sassy best friend?
There's no time for you to diminish your colleagues. When you're about to start a war, you can't win.
Maximoff is never going to negotiate with us. We take her out, this whole nightmare ends.
We don't know.
This whole nightmare ends. Once again, maybe I'm reaching.
Do you know what? They don't. What I've learned from the past is they purposely use dialogue, and they don't normally misdirect you with it. Like they basically want you to kind of get a taste of what's about to come, and that's classic foreshadowing. So, but the thing is, they could so be misdirecting us. What if who we think is Nightmare is actually Mephisto, and who's Mephisto is actually Nightmare? You know what I mean? Like they might be saying dialogue that's relating to this character, but it might actually be the opposite. So, the Nightmare factor could be that Mephisto knows about Nightmare, and Nightmare knows about Mephisto. So, like we were saying earlier on, I think what was it? Ghetto Therapy was bringing it up on stereo. Like, I think Nightmare and Mephisto kind of have that. It's like a Starscream Megatron type of relationship, you know. Like one wants to be superior, but he's always under. So perhaps like they know each other, or we don't know from this point if they do.
Either they know each other, or one is working for the other.
Yeah.
And you know what I think is real weird about the episode? You remember the part where, of course, it was made it a joke, but you remember when we was talking about how Wanda lost her accent, right?
Yeah.
They brought that up.
Yeah, they brought that up, and that was like, oh snap, okay, because they knew they knew people was talking about it. Like, yo, we definitely noticed at the Age of Ultron, she ain't had no accent.
Yeah, they worked
They
it
about that.
They worked it into the storyline. I thought that was clever. Oh, another thing that I noticed. Hold up, let me play this part for you guys, and see if you understand why this is of significance. Let me see here. Okay, so listen to this.
Junior entrepreneur over here. How about your little cookie help you maximize your candy acquisition, huh?
Yeah.
I feel the need.
Pussy.
Need for Speed. I like that.
Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass.
Oh no! Yeah,
Don't you think?
I read that.
Don't you think it's
somewhere.
Kick-Ass when both people that played Quicksilver were in the movie Kick-Ass?
Right. Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson was the. I can't remember. I don't know if his name's Kick-Ass or he's one of the main characters. And then, I remember Evan Peters being him actually.
Hey, Kick-Ass is Marvel too, isn't it?
No, I don't
think it is. I think it's his own thing.
So.
I thought I heard somewhere it was owned by Marvel.
I think it is.
It could be.
Kick-Ass.
I don't.
Have a look. I don't think it is Marvel. I mean,
look it up.
I think it might be its own thing, but like at first I thought Watchmen was its own thing, but then I think Watchmen is DC.
Yeah, DC.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, Kick-Ass feels like Sky High. It's not part of anything. It's just its own thing, you know.
It was published by Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay, I looked it up. All right.
Shoot, I thought
Are there
Spawn was
any
Marvel.
things that I may have not noticed that you guys may have picked up on in this particular episode?
The ending.
Before I say it again.
The ending. The end of the episode when Vision his attention went right to Agnes. You know what I'm saying? And she was like stuck in the. She was in the car, just parked, just stuck right there, right? And you know how
Right.
Vision try to he get people out of the, like a certain illusion or whatever, and bring some get out phase he doing. So you know what I'm saying? Bring them out from the sunken place, basically. That's what I call it. And no matter what, she's crazy. She's still like that no matter what. Like she said, she noticed that she told him he was dead. Remember that?
Mhm.
So you're dead.
Yeah.
And then he snapped it right back into being crazy again.
That's another question I had, because if you notice, you know that part where Quicksilver was like, well, it's not like her dead husband could die twice. So then I was like, wait a minute, hold on a second.
Oh yeah.
Quicksilver died before Vision was even in the picture.
Right.
He shouldn't have known that.
Yeah, he shouldn't have.
How did
And
Quicksilver know
did Wanda tell him this? Because that's what I'm curious about.
if he's really Pietro? How is he aware of Vision's death?
It can only be one reason.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Unless he's not really Pietro.
Right.
There was one thing that there was this one particular thing that I noticed in the trick or treat scene when Speed was running around stealing candy, and there was one particular shot. It was one of those blink and you miss it moments, but there was a particular part where Wanda's standing there, and there's this mysterious figure behind her. You see that?
I did see that.
Wait.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wait, is that?
Look at that right there.
Okay.
That does look quite weird. I know that's trying to like misdirect us, but yeah, that's weird.
That's creepy.
So they're after you, GQ. You better run.
If I can run as fast as Quicksilver,
GQ, the more you look at it, the more there's gonna come for you.
I know.
That's why it's been haunting you, man.
Oh man, I missed that. Oh shoot.
Now I'll tell you who it is. It's Mitch. Mitch, don't lie, it's you, isn't it?
Shamoon, you the one with the WandaVision shirt on. They don't sell that yet. You've been on set, haven't you? Yeah, we got you.
Nah, I'm just trying to blend in, man. I don't want to tell anyone who I really am.
Oh, I just something else to kind of debunk the Pietro is Pietro thing that leads me to believe that he has to be somebody or something else. Is if you don't believe that it's Pietro from the MCU, obviously we got some multiverse stuff going around, so people are going, well, they brought Pietro from the X-Men movies over, and he's kind of assuming the role. But I'm someone who hasn't watched the X-Men movies, so someone who was very savvy in them has actually told me that it couldn't be him either, because the Pietro that we meet in WandaVision clearly is saying that he has memories in Sokovia with his sister Wanda. But it's been established in the X-Men movies that Pietro was born and raised in America. He's never been to Sokovia.
Yeah. Right.
So that was a big red flag.
Do you reckon they're trying to slowly build up this Quicksilver? Because obviously the real Quicksilver that Wanda knew died already. So if they bring him back, it's going to be hard now because the Fox deal went through during that process. And then they've obviously got, do you remember that whole debate of which Quicksilver we're going to have, the Evan Peters Quicksilver or Aaron Taylor Johnson? Now, because Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver technically died, maybe they thought this is an opportunity to get the other Quicksilver in, but we can rewrite him as that Quicksilver, but just kind of confuse and F with people a little bit because they were introducing multiverse. Perhaps they went into big debate about this. This might have been something tricky for them because this isn't something you can just introduce and just leave it be. You got to really think what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, to introduce another guy, it's like, if you're introducing multiverse, that's a perfect opportunity to get people gripped because they're like, oh my God, wait, does that mean X-Men? But the X-Men are getting reintroduced, but people are thinking is multiverse. I mean, Hugh Jackman said he won't come back now as Wolverine, so I don't know. They're definitely not going to get him, but they're going to recast all the characters. But Quicksilver's the only one I think they can bring back with a good reason.
Shamoon, you're Wolverine, aren't you?
Yeah, bro, that's what it is.
Secret is out.
Gotcha.
Wait, Rich, you remember that time I called you Paige Kennedy? Like, are you
I
Paige
want to
Kennedy
be
but
the-
recasted?
I want to be the new Luke Cage. I can be Luke Cage in the MCU because they aren't using that guy anymore. Growing
You
my
got all
beard
of
out
Paige
for
Kennedy's memories, but in this universe, you're you're Mitch.
it.
I guess I
gotta-
settle for a multiverse Falcon.
Wait, what do you say?
Hey,
I think I could settle for being a multiverse Falcon.
hey.
Especially now that that show
coming up.
it's gonna look hard.
Yep.
That means Emery is Wanda then.
Wow.
Yes, I accept.
Very powerful
That means
character.
don't piss her off. Don't
Exactly, you know. It's fun. I'll tell you what though, Emery, you're sus. You've been hella quiet during this. You must be Wanda.
I'm just
He's,
taking it all in. That's all.
controlling this entire conversation.
Oh,
She's just
yeah,
waiting
putting
until we
myself
know
out there,
too
so
much.
I'm less sus. Mitch, you're definitely sus, bro. Oh, man.
So wait, so now let me play.
I'm Batman. He ain't
Where's
even
got
in
all
Big
these
Marvel.
weird angles, bro? I'm kind of curious now why you're doing these weird angles. Are you not are you like another character as well?
Casting a hex. So
Oh,
Now,
that
this
costume
part
was
right here-
sad.
this part right here
that was
gave
funny.
me Get Out vibes. Anybody who's seen the movie Get Out? This
Yeah,
this
I
gave me-
loved it. Oh yes, remember
Yes.
you were saying
That part right there.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, that was weird.
yes. Faith, did I just not say a couple hours ago I compared that to Get Out? I was like, that proves that the people have some sort of coherent understanding of what's happening around them. They just can't control it.
Yeah, because you remember
Yeah.
when Vision woke up that guy and he's like, "Oh, I need to call my sister," and he started panicking. Like that
Yeah.
woman clearly, like maybe she's just been one. I don't know if it was Wanda that was responsible for that, but probably was. Just like putting these people, like not letting them live their lives. It's just kind of been. It's almost like they're what's the word? It's like that. It's like Groundhog Day for them. It's just
Yeah.
everything's the same every day or whatever. I don't know how. I feel like it's like a spell or something, and then they can't wake up.
They in a sunken place.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
freaky. I like the way they've gone into all these types of themes. Though, me and GQ were saying earlier on about that. Like that scene with Pietro was creepy as hell. Like,
Yeah, with the bullet holes. That was
yeah, and, like,
Yes,
his
that
face-
was
Yeah.
scary, man.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what
Yeah,
else was crazy. The fact that Vision actually went for it and tried to get up out that joint and started fading away. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Ooh.
yeah, he looked
that
creepy.
was disturbing. It was
That was
almost
quite mad, that scene.
I don't know if
Wait,
this was on purpose, but when Vision was going through that, it looked very similar to how a lot of the characters looked during the snap.
Yep.
Right.
It
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that.
into ash. He was fading away
It's
for real.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But was
they
he
were-
being like sucked back in, or was he fading away?
it
See,
was.
this
It looked
is
like
what-
he was deteriorating, but a lot of the pieces of him that was deteriorating was being sucked back into the hex.
Right.
So what we were saying, GQ, is that you know the advert this episode, like we were decoding it, and the ad with the boy on a little island. So he tries to
Oh.
have that yogurt, and it's called Yo Magic, right?
I'm actually going to play
So-
that right now. I'm actually going
Yeah,
to play
play
that
it now.
right
Then we can
Play
like
that.
talk about it.
You get
That's
a
a good
refresher.
show.
That made me want some yogurt.
Mitch, bro, you're gonna deteriorate if we don't get that yogurt. It ain't funny, man. You won't be alive.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Mercy.
I genuinely thought this was going to be like a funny kids ad or something.
Yeah, it was dark.
Yeah.
Bro, it got darker than Batman right there.
Yo, man.
Have some?
There you go, little dude.
Why couldn't he open it? I don't get that.
I don't.
So sad.
I do not understand that.
But that's so easy to. Oh, maybe because this is deep.
Damn.
Yo, magic! The snack for survivors.
Yes.
Snack for survivors.
Yeah,
I didn't even notice that bit.
The-
That
really?
proves
crazy
the point
thing-
even more.
The crazy thing is, in the early 2000s, that would have made you go get some yogurt. Mama, please.
Yeah,
I need some Yo Magic. Like,
but that
I'm
got
not
dark.
gonna lie, I'm kind of annoyed they skipped on the
Yeah.
90s because I thought this would have been the 90s, but then I heard it was more of the noughties, and I was like, oh, then why did they skip that? But
right, that's weird. That is
Because
weird.
80s is like, I mean, not 80s, 90s is like one of the most like memorable eras ever. And I mean, I honestly, the style felt very 90s and the trailers and stuff I'd seen before. And I was wondering if the Halloween episode was 90s, but well, clearly not. That ad was interesting because, yeah, the Yo Magic. So the kid, I was saying to GQ, he kind of represents like Vision in this circumstance. So he is technically brought back to life with magic. So as you saw, he was trying to leave that reality. He can't leave that reality because he won't exist. Because remember, his body just dropped dead once he tried to leave because all of the pieces that were going. So that yogurt is essentially Wanda's power and the essence, and then like the kid is basically Vision because like without the magic you're going to deteriorate, you can't survive. I don't know if that was just kind of foreshadowing what was going to happen or just it's just a way of putting out there, but that island is also representing the hex, the space that Wanda has with Westview, so that's also like representing that. But yeah, for only survivors, that's interesting because you can only survive with the magic. So yeah, Vision can only survive with that. So it's quite a mad little ad that.
There was actually another parallel that I thought about when me and you, Shamu, when we were done talking. I thought of another one where the magic and the shark could represent, whether it's Mephisto or Nightmare, whoever it is, feeding off of their magic. Because he specifically said, when I get hungry, I feed off of your magic. And the boy was wearing red, which could represent Wanda and how he's feeding off of the magic. But the reason why he can't open the yogurt to tap into the magic is because he can't really control it.
That's what. That makes a lot of sense. I feel like this ad could be relating to them both, but because they almost in a sense like Vision probably feels trapped now, knowing that he doesn't know what happened before. That's why he had that argument with Wanda. Then finding out he can't leave Westview without him, without the magic. And then Wanda kind of feels stuck as well. Like she can't live that life that she wants without Sword and like all these other characters getting in the way of her life. I think Mephisto or even Nightmare are sort of taking advantage of that. So that's a really good point actually, that the shark, because the shark's kind of random, and the shark's like representing something we don't know. I mean, we don't know the shark as well as we don't know who's Mephisto and we don't know who's Nightmare. So that makes a lot. Oh man, this makes more sense to me now.
Not to mention, why is a shark helping me? Out of all the things that could help me, why is a shark?
Right.
Yeah, and the shark is like, it's like how can you survive like out of the water just like that? And cartoon. I mean, obviously it's a cartoon and it's just an ad, but I mean they could have used anything else,
But they chose a shark.
I don't know if they specifically chose that little island and like the fact that they're in the middle of nowhere and it's like a sea, unless that's just trying to represent the island. Perhaps maybe the sea is sort of representing the rest of the world, and obviously Westview is that small island. but yeah, the fact that the shark just comes out and it's like where it's also questioning like where is everything else and where is everyone? Because why is this person deserted? Like, I mean, we obviously got a better idea of it now.
Well, there's two things though that make me a little bit more suspicious of both Agnes and Pietro. On the Agnes side, you notice how all the other people, the closer they are to the outer bands of the hex, they don't move, right?
Yeah.
They're frozen.
Yet Agnes was also at the edge, and she was able to have a full-blown conversation.
Yeah.
And be
well,
able to properly and even drive a whole car with no problem. So it was like, okay, why do you have more of a control over yourself
than anyone?
You don't.
Because she must have some type of power.
Yeah.
I had a theory that I shared with Faith.
Okay.
Now this theory could be somewhere out of the water, but then again, we are talking about WandaVision.
Yes.
So specifically about Agnes, I like to say Agatha. Clearly, she's somebody of high importance, and clearly she's probably somebody with power because of the fact that she could be on the edge of town and she could still talk and, like you said, drive a car and hold a conversation with Vision. But the thing that alarmed me, the two things that alarmed me was one, the fact that Vision had to snap her out of it to have some sort of a real conversation. And number two, I know everybody was like, that witch laugh was like a dead giveaway.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
Three was when she said the star of the show was Wanda.
She did say that in episode 2, that Wanda was the star of the show.
Oh yeah.
So the theory that I had was clearly Agnes has to be someone with a lot of power and probably someone that tried to harness Wanda's power in some way. But the thing that I took as a twist was maybe she did take on Wanda trying to control her power, but maybe she lost. And as a result of her loss in that fight, she was forced to be a part of this illusion with her. Which in my mind would kind of make sense of why she doesn't really react to any of the magical stuff that she sees around Wanda, because she knows what it is really.
Yep.
It probably made sense why she could snap out. It's just something that I thought about. That I was like, it would be cool to think about that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. And then of course Pietro, I don't trust him either because he seems too. How do I put it? He keeps asking her, "Hey, is everything okay? What's wrong? You can talk to me." Like he seems really pushy. Like even in this scene here, hold up. Share audio. Okay. Oops. Run that back.
What's underneath their jobs? Better haircuts for sure.
You don't. It is wrong.
Are you kidding? I'm impressed. Seriously, it's a pretty big leap from giving people nightmares and shooting red wiggly woos.
More nightmares.
Mm-hmm. He is mad hints in that.
How do you even do all this?
How did he know so much when he died?
How did he know in the first place?
Exactly.
Has Wanda not even clocked that? How the hell does this Pietro know about things that happened after his death? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
He was like, "Oh, you came a long way from giving people nightmares." What do you mean you came a long way from giving people nightmares? You weren't, according to the MCU timeline, you guys weren't mutants or superpowered until after you guys were exposed to the Mind Stone. So where is all this "you came a long way" coming from?
Do you know what's interesting? Like, I think, it's possible that none of those, Pietro and Vision, I mean, they are technically dead. So technically they're not actually alive, because even though like Wanda may have seen that might actually just be that's the actual reality, that they're actually dead, but because of the power and everything, they're alive. But like when Vision was trying to leave Westview, you could see he would have died. I'm just curious if there's obviously real people in that reality, but Pietro might actually Like, are they just? I'm curious if they leave Westview or something happens to that reality. Does that mean like Pietro dies again, or does he like disappear? Like, I'm curious what's going to happen with that, because reintroducing him is going to be it's difficult to explain.
Yeah.
And I feel like they will go into that at some point, but like, whereas if there's like a season 2 of WandaVision and they kind of focus on him a little bit more, that'd be quite interesting.
You know what I thought was really interesting, because I heard this on this, I forgot what channel this was. I don't know if it's New Rock Stars or I don't remember, but he was saying, what if this hex that Wanda has cast over the city, right? Wrench Turner, what's good, sir? I was saying, like, what if this hex that Wanda has cast over the city, what if that's what causes mutants to exist?
Oh snap!
So when they leave the hex, everybody that was in that town that was exposed to the chaos magic becomes mutated in some way, because we're already alluding to that with Monica Rambeau.
That's a really good point, actually.
Ghetto therapy started following me. Wow, that's crazy. All right.
That's Big Gene.
Oh, for real?
Big Gene, yeah, that's Big Gene.
Ghetto therapy, that makes sense.
Okay.
But no, man, the many theories that I have strictly because of this show. Like, okay, here's another question: who do you think Monica's contact is?
Oh, I heard a good few
You
theories
don't know
about
who it
this.
is.
I've heard a lot of good theories.
Yeah, some people even think it was going to point towards Reed Richards, but I don't think it'll be him, because it's like I'd be a bit random just to go, "What's up, Reed Richards?" Like, they have to introduce him in a big way.
Yeah,
there was a possibility that it was going to be Blue Marvel, I think, like a new character that they haven't introduced
Marvel,
yet.
right? Aerospace. Look that up. Aerospace, because she said it was an aerospace engineer, right?
Yes. Some people thought Carol as well, but I don't think it'll be Carol. Did you see her
She's
face
on bad terms
when?
with her right now.
Yeah, she hate her.
Yeah,
did you see her face when Thingy mentioned her, and she was like, just kind of, she was saying about Wanda. You know, Wanda nearly destroyed Thanos until that. What happened, and then Jimmy Woo says about
Captain Marvel could have come close. We are not.
I love the fact that she like made that face, because obviously she's probably thinking about all those years Carol wasn't there, just kind of left her, and then the fact that Mum.
That could be the answer. I'm actually gonna pull up that clip too. Keep talking. I'm gonna look up that clip.
Yeah, I think it might be possible that Captain Marvel 2. I mean, they have a clear villain, but it's essentially a Civil War 2. That's what a lot of the rumors are saying. So if that's the case, I feel that I don't know if they mean that if it's literally going to be like similar to Civil War, and the fact there's beef and there's a villain that comes in and causes a divide, but it's possible that maybe Monica and Carol clash heads, and then obviously there's like two sides. But Civil War 2 would be a better idea, because I would love that.
You know they bring Captain America back, right?
Well, I don't know if that.
I don't know if he's gonna be back as Captain America.
Yeah.
But they may bring him back for some type of cameo of some sort. As
some people think Human Torch for a multiverse thing, but I don't know. I mean, that would be pretty nuts, because if it is for Spider-Man 3 or Doctor Strange, I mean, there's plenty of time for that. And cameo would be last minute, because, you know, a lot of these guys, they find out last second, and it's obviously uphold secrecy. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those films.
Yeah.
It would be cool seeing him back as Cap, but why would he be back unless they're kind of explaining what happened with him trying to put the stones back, you know, in the original timelines. I do want to see like a series or something about that, because that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be so cool.
So here's the clip in question.
Yes, I do.
Have we identified these minors yet, or the newborns?
Oh, Wanda's twins look fake in the TV hour.
Far exceeding anything she's displayed in the past.
Here we go.
She could have taken out Thanos on her own if he hadn't initiated a blitz. Nobody else came close.
Well, I'd argue that Captain Marvel came close.
Her powers
Mm-hmm.
came from an Infinity Stone too, right?
We are not talking about her. We
Think
are
about it. Carol kind of, she was
Right.
close. I mean, she nearly she did overpower Thanos for a bit, but like
She did.
Thanos kind of threw her, then like punched her with the Power Stone. Whereas Wanda just like had that, she pretty much had him. It's just that she took too long to kill him. So
You
like
know what?
Wanda pretty much, yeah. It's that blitz that
There's
caused all the
another-
distractions.
There's another display of how powerful Wanda is. If you go back to Infinity War, right?
Mm-hmm.
She had one hand shooting power to keep Thanos away.
Yes, and then one preventing Thanos from getting the vision.
All the stones except for the Time Stone. And then she used the other hand to destroy Vision. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Powerful enough to destroy an Infinity Stone with one hand and hold back Thanos, who had the other 5 stones, with the other hand. She is a beast.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I think Thanos was only using, I think he was using 2 stones at that point. I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but the fact he had to use more than one just kind of tells you how powerful she is. And she's not
Right.
even at her full potential yet. So imagine if she's at her full potential fighting Thanos. Like, Thanos can't even blink at her without receiving some sort of pain or damage.
Right.
How far did her hex reach at the end of the last episode?
Oh my goodness.
Outside your
That's a
house,
good
Mitch. Have a look.
I don't even
Most
know.
likely, honestly.
But now we know
No, that's
Darcy.
a good point. Yeah, I'm curious how far it went, but it was like, I mean, it took out all the sword little facility and it went pretty far out. But yeah, I'm curious
Right.
what happened to Darcy. Is she going to get her mind
I
right?
know.
Or is she going to be okay? Because poor,
You know
poor
what?
Darcy, they did her dirty, like locking her up to the car and then just like
Yeah.
leaving her there. And then, yeah, and then she was like,
That
oh,
was dirty.
yeah. And then that was quite
That
funny.
was
Like, you
dirty.
could just hear her.
I think Darcy's gonna be fine, primarily because of I heard of a leak of future episodes in which Darcy has a conversation with Vision.
Ooh.
So I don't know how that conversation goes, but the fact that they're having a conversation tells me that Darcy is okay. But I wonder how Vision's gonna feel after Darcy kind of fills Vision in on what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, I was just telling Shamoon this earlier, the last 3 episodes are supposedly an hour long.
Good.
Finally.
Ooh,
I really hope so.
yeah.
I really do.
Oh, I'm gonna be so mad after the hours are done.
Imagine.
You're gonna feel like it's still not enough.
You know what? That's gonna. I heard that the finale. I think I was saying to GQ as well. I think Olsen and Bettany were saying that, or a few others were saying the finale is pretty much all the budget has gone into that. Most of the budget's in that final episode. So, I think we're gonna see the biggest, baddest battle. I don't know how exactly, but maybe some of the villains of Doctor Strange kind of fight Wanda, and they kind of reveal that. That would be freaking mind blowing if they did something like that.
Oh, that'd be so
We
cool.
are waiting for a big battle, though. We freaking are. Like, come on, you gotta
The
have a
build
big.
up is there.
Deception factor. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna give you.
Oh, I think there will be. Yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this whole time, like GQ's been Mephisto. Like, I'm prepared to hear all this kind of stuff. You know.
Mm.
Man, no, I'm super ready. And the thing is, like I was talking to Shimoon earlier on the stereo thing that we were doing earlier. Marvel has set themselves up to where every week we are getting nonstop Marvel content, whether it's a show or a movie, because of the episodes of the Disney Plus shows leading into movies, leading back to the shows. Like, Marvel has come back with a vengeance this year.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it
They
so
owe
much.
it to us. They owe it to us. We've been waiting.
Like
Absolutely.
I was saying, you know, it really makes up for 2020, and we're getting all this content now. It's almost like perfectly balanced because we're getting content pretty much every month.
Yeah.
Even if it overlaps, like we're still getting something. You know, even going into the next month, and it's just constant excitement. I think until even up until July, we've got pretty much something going on every week. So, and then I think the second half of the year, we've got more films coming out, and it's just, oh man, I just can't believe how much stuff we're getting this year. And then 2022, it just grows and grows and grows. And And then all the other shows, like, I honestly feel like the next 2-3 years is going to be the most content any Marvel fans ever got, because it's like, yeah, one thing after another. It's I mean, you can't stop with one thing. It's like you know, you don't even really have a gap. It's just you don't even have a week's break. It's like it's constant. I think that's great because you're just constantly engaged with Marvel all the time, and it does make up for that year absence of absolutely nothing, you know. But yeah, I'm just excited.
Yeah.
And let's also recognize the fact that what's his name? I don't know if it's Billy is Speed, right? And Tommy is Wigan.
I think so. Yeah, I always forget which one's which.
I get it mixed up.
They haven't given him enough personality for you to care quite yet, but
yeah.
I do find it really cool that they both are manifesting their powers, even though
sure.
I'm a little concerned because in the comic, if we're going based off of the comic, the first iteration of the twins ended up being pieces of Mephisto's soul.
Right.
The life essence, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. So I don't know if that's going to happen at the end of this series, and then Wanda just goes through this whole, you know, mental breakdown. I do think it's really cool that, you know, he's showing his powers and his abilities, but then Wanda just showed her butt off with her powers expanding.
She just absolutely yeets Pietro. Damn, that sounded way louder.
Ellie, I need you to.
Oh man.
I can't tell. He sees soldiers.
It's pretty. They did it in a pretty small way to introduce them as well without really explaining. They just kind of did it. I like the way they did it though.
That was some Professor X type stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna lie, that could be a slight reference to them.
Yeah.
This is what man. I think this is
mannequin challenge.
Jimmy, do you see that? Something's happening.
It's moving. Go, 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 go.
Oh, he was red. He's Mephisto.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised though, not gonna lie.
But it would be cool if this is how mutants were formed.
Hard ass guys. Man, that's crazy.
Darcy becomes Squirrel Girl.
What are you doing?
You in TV land now.
Oh, I thought she said, oh fuck, not fudge.
She said, oh fudge. That's another question that I have though. Gosh, I just lost it. I just had a question and it just disappeared.
Who's doing magic on you, GQ?
I know. I feel like
mind control, bro.
Somebody just wiped my memory. Can we get a? Oh wait, look.
Wayne, you've been awfully quiet, bro. I bet you're wiping everybody's minds there.
Can we get a Punisher and Luke Cage though? I done said I wanted to be Luke Cage. They won't let me, Rich Turner.
Punisher, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider. That has to happen. I'm telling you now.
You know,
and Blade.
The guy that played Punisher in the Netflix series.
Oh,
they're bringing him back.
Oh,
they're
freaking hope
rebooting
they bring
Punisher,
him
but
back.
they're keeping him.
Thank you. I liked his Punisher. I thought he was a good Punisher.
He was.
He was the best, I think. Like, he just plays it so well. I think the one in the film was good, but John Bernthal just smashes it. He's like,
he owns that. He owns that role now.
That's his. You can't. I feel like you can't recast it because it's so strong. Same. I feel like the only person out of Defenders you could recast is perhaps Iron Fist, because I just don't think Finn Jones is that convincing. Although I think direction was one of the reasons why his character wasn't that strong. Because Iron Fist in the Marvel comics, he's supposed to be like one of the best in martial art, but they kind of nerfed his ass, and then
they did.
I think now it's Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi's kind of the Iron Fist of the MCU, and like we were saying earlier on, that's going to be pretty epic. I mean, if Iron Fist turns up there, that'd be pretty cool.
Hey, when that come out? Somebody's phone going on.
I don't know what that means. No, that wasn't me. No, but I'm really curious as to how this whole thing is going to end, and I'm really curious as to who that extra cameo is going to be. That thing is
Spider-Man.
Oh man,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
The thing is, people think it could be Spider-Man, but this is what Olsen said, that the cameo, I think, is supposed to be as good as Luke Skywalker, right?
Yeah.
In Mando. So if that's the case, like, I mean, I had to really think about this. I'm like, what characters could possibly be on that same level as Luke in respect to that? Okay, so we've got obviously Cap, maybe Tony. We maybe see a scene of Tony, when Wanda says to Clint, like Clint says, "Oh, I wish Nat and Tony knew that we won." And Wanda looks at him, takes a moment, says, "They know." What if there's like a scene, maybe perhaps that they just kind of show that, or just something huge that makes sense with the story. I mean, Cap and Tony and Thanos as well. That would be big.
Ooh,
But,
yeah, it would.
I mean, what Thanos just goes, "I'm back," or what does he do? Like, I mean, for Thanos, I don't know why he would be back, but I know Eternals is coming later this year, I think. So,
well, Rich Turner said Tony Stark. The only way I see Tony Stark returning is via hologram. Through that little holographic.
That could be. That does happen in the comics, I think. So that does make sense.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, didn't he become AI at one point? He became like the new Jarvis.
Yeah, I think his Iron Man
Wasn't it
suit.
for like Riri Williams?
Yeah, his Iron Man suit operated like in Sentry mode, although like his head was like a hologram. So I think it was like an AI, and he built it. So yeah, I think it's possible they do that. That'd be quite a cool way of keeping him around.
I just went on the computer and like it tell you go on the computer.
I feel like
and then,
those two characters are the only ones that can give you the Luke Skywalker feel, unless you go for somebody that was like in one of the older Marvel movies that aren't necessarily a part of the MCU.
I feel like they take somebody from either one of the old X-Men films or one of the old Spider-Man films.
I think Professor X would be. I feel like that could be. See, I feel like Logan perhaps would be big in that sense because we all love Wolverine.
But again, makes sense.
Wolverine is like, I mean, he's a mutant, yeah, but how does he link to this whole thing? You can't just have a cameo for the sake of it, So
it has to be detrimental to the storyline.
Exactly. And perhaps there has to be someone that coexists unless it's someone we haven't seen for a while. I feel like it could be one of the big villains. If it's not Ultron, or Thanos, yeah. People think Ultron could come back.
I've heard that.
He technically, when Vision kills him in Age of Ultron, we still don't know if there's like a vibranium body out there that he can simply go to, or like another source or computer.
And it's funny that you mentioned vibranium because Rich Turner said T'Challa hologram.
Right.
Oh yeah. Word on street is and the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, T'Challa gonna make an appearance, man. Just word on street.
For real.
That would be pretty cool.
Well, they did film a lot of their stuff, so that would make sense.
If Black Panther showed up, that would.
In What If series too.
Wasn't his final performance was in the What If series too?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if they would have announced that. I mean, they could be holding that secret if he's having a cameo elsewhere as well. But
maybe.
But the thing is, because he passed away, sadly, like maybe they just went, should we just surprise people? But that might hit people different now because of his death. So I'm not gonna lie, that would be one of the craziest moments, like to see if we just see T'Challa, because no one's expecting that.
Yeah.
No. And it's
that
possible.
That'd be mad, yeah.
It's possible because I feel like they filmed that show before he passed. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible they got him in there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, What If was, I think, one of the last things he recorded, but like he could have recorded something before that, which could have been one of these cameos. and he does link up pretty well with that show, with Falcon Winter Soldier. But if I could see his on-screen portrayal one more time, apart from that animation, yeah, it would have to be in like a series like that. That only really makes sense.
It would make the most sense to be in that series.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's hard how many people you can think of though, because like this cameo, this as big as Luke, like Olsen's putting there's a lot of weight to that statement. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it better be that
now
good.
expectations are like
The pressure's on right
expectations are up to here now, so it's like it better be Luke Skywalker level.
Right.
You know, she's lucky. She well, not lucky, but I know she like deactivated her Insta because of like something that happened a while ago. But if she was on Insta now, oh my god, she'd be bombarded. Like she'll probably leave again because, you know, like to say a statement like that, like you're gonna have the fandom go nuts. Like, oh my god, this better be good, Olsen.
It's Doc Ock, ain't it? Doc Ock, Spider-Man 2. We never seen him after the Porter, and it's Doc Ock, ain't it? I know it's Doc Ock.
I was just telling Shamoon two different theories, right? Number one, if the character does not die on screen, they are not dead.
That's true facts.
Number two, that big old energy beam that Dr. Octopus was holding.
What
if that is a portal that leads into the multiverse, and now he's in the new Spider-Man film with Electro and all these other people?
Do you know why that could be canon? Because Feige, and you guys probably saw this, I was saying this to GQ, Feige showed this clip of one of the post-credit scenes recorded for Iron Man 1. You know when Nick Fury tells him about the Avengers Initiative? Well, originally, in that scene, Nick Fury says about mutants, radioactive spider, and stuff like that. And that basically proved that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, all the X-Men were canon to the MCU. But obviously, because of Fox and Sony, that wasn't possible. So perhaps they can easily, you know, make them canon by, like GQ said, like Dr. Ock going through there, Electro. And it's funny how they've picked those specific characters because we never saw their death, you know, like for real. So
the characters
there's big opportunities there. So
yeah,
hello Toby, hello Andrew. They're going to be concerned where the hell are these villains gone, perhaps, or I don't know how. See, I'm curious how they'll come in, but obviously because their villains are in another universe, I might confuse them.
Here's the thing about, if you remember Spider-Man 2, can we really call Doc Ock a villain by the end of that? Because remember, he was at the very end. He kind of snapped back into his right mind. He was like,
"Yeah, that thing was.
I think I got to take this L. Let me.
Right.
I'm so sorry." Like,
yeah, it's true.
that does make sense, man. But also, Dr. Octopus was responsible for the assembling of the Sinister Six.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So we also got to keep that in mind. Unless for the movie version they're switching it to like Vulture or something.
Well, here's the thing. We were saying like, so we have Vulture and Morbius. We have Dr. Ock. Well, if Kraven gets introduced in the third movie, that would pretty much complete it. Then we have there's two others, right? Well, we had Scorpio and
yeah, Scorpion was at the end of Homecoming.
Shocker as well. And then we have, something I haven't mentioned. There's been rumors that William Dafoe is recording something. So Norman Osborn, they might be doing this whole Dark Avenger thing at some point.
Ooh.
And if Dafoe's back, that means the Sinister Six is complete because Green Goblin needs to be in it.
Right.
And the whole nanotech thing, he could be responsible for because his suit was nanotech. He could be responsible for Tony's tech, and then perhaps something with that links to Armor Wars because Don Cheadle's going to be starring in that, and that's about Tony's biggest fear: his tech getting in the wrong hands. And I mean, literally, someone wearing the Iron Man suit. Perhaps that links in with Green Goblin and Norman. I mean, that might be a stretch, but I think it could be something like that. And Spider-Man 3 is before that. So what if that? Oh man, like imagine that's the case.
And then Rich Turner just said, Dr. Octopus doesn't get a pass. He is a villain.
He's a villain.
Hey man, he kidnapped Mary Jane, man. We can't let that slide.
Well,
Who didn't kidnap Mary Jane?
Mind going through all of that. So.
He went after my Aunt May. He don't
right.
That's true. That's true. I forgot about that.
He robbed the bank.
So did Green Goblin. He made her pray.
Yeah. He did. Man.
They should have killed that old hoe.
Possibilities are endless at this point. All right, so before I wrap up, we're going to go around in a circle. I'm going to go to each and every one of you guys. Give me your final prediction or speculation for the end of this season of WandaVision.
Oh, jeez.
I think, me personally, I don't see any way that Vision is gonna come out of this. I think Wanda's gonna he's gonna die once again.
Get a break, bro.
Ain't no way he gonna make it.
There's no way. And he got to die 3 times.
Yep. They gonna do him dirty,
bro.
That man got Super Mario live.
He's had the worst death if you think about it. Like he had freaking Thanos' hand go. Just think of your head, right, and think of someone's a big fat purple freaking hand going. All right, let me squeeze your forehead and just take something out.
Yeah, not to mention, it had to have been really strong for him to squeeze his vibranium head to break it that way.
That's supposed to be the strongest metal in that universe, or one of them.
You understand. And then you got to consider, first, the last thing he remembers is getting killed by his girl, only to be brought back. Oh no! And then get killed again.
Oh my god!
Purple crotch in your face. Last thing he sees.
And he loses all color.
Do you know what would be funny? If you change the context of that entire scene, you could say that Vision finds out that Wanda's cheating on him with this big purple dude. And Thanos is like, you know what, bro? I think enough's enough. He just takes this thing out of his head. He's done.
No.
So then they can get on with their relationship.
Oh, why am I back here? Wanda, why are you on your knees? Who is this? Ah!
Oh god, this is
oh god. Yeah, I think Vision's gonna make it out alive, but as far as anything else, I can't really pinpoint a solid prediction because this has turned into so many different directions. I don't know what to expect at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a question. Do y'all think the kid's gonna make it out?
I do.
Oh, come on, man. They just existed.
I'm happy on that. I'm happy. On one side, I know they're doing the Young Avengers, so they have to be involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other side, Wanda has to suffer some huge traumatic breakdown at the end of this after she realizes that nothing that she's created is real.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what direction am I going? Are they going to keep them alive for the Young Avengers, or are they going to take them out and bring them back at a later time? I don't know.
They could do
Well,
that.
GQ, in the comics, doesn't that happen? So they get older, but Wanda thinks they're dead because of I think there's like a battle that happens, and then Mephisto is sort of responsible for it as well, because he's kind of responsible for their existence anyway.
Yeah.
So I think what happens is she gets separated by the kids, and then she sees them at some point in the comics. They do. Maybe in the MCU, they're established with the Young Avengers as well. And then Wanda kind of sees them there, and she knows like the Avengers and all that. So maybe that's how she reconnects with them. Because it clearly looks like she wants nothing to do with anyone else, just her life and focus on her and Vision. But perhaps like she probably tries to find them, and then that probably reconnects her with them. And the whole our House of M stuff, right? That's
Right. Yeah.
mutant. That's surely something that's going to connect her with the X-Men.
Do you think it's going to end with her saying something, maybe in the reverse of the No More Mutants? Maybe something else, like the opposite, where it causes mutants to show up, and then we just start getting sprinkled in future properties, like some of the series and some of the movies. Have a good one. I appreciate you.
So if this links to a big film, I feel like you're right. There has to be something that keeps that going, and something important and very big is going to happen. So it's hard to say what exactly, but it has to be something with like basically progression. It can't just be that thing. It has to lead to a lot of things. There's basically consequences to it, you know. That'd be quite a nice way to start Phase 4, because we had all that climactic stuff with Endgame, and you know, we're all expecting something quite big. That would be quite a big way to introduce this compared to, you know, like other phases. So, I mean, I don't know I don't know how the series is going to end. It's so hard to predict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult to predict because everything has just been throwing me for a loop this whole time.
What do you guys think, though? Like, I mean, I'll think about it, but like, has anyone got like a prediction of what they think will happen?
My vague answer is that Wanda's gonna break the multiverse. Like, you can't have a specific thing that's gonna happen, but I feel like at some point that's definitely going to be the cause. Because
that's a good point. Actually,
if you move to the House of M comic books, like the whole point of that was the more that Wanda rewrote history, or rewrote reality rather, to fit what she desired, it made her lose a small piece of her sanity each time she did it.
Yeah.
So I would feel that would probably be something that happens near the end of WandaVision, and maybe some people's predictions are correct. Some people think that she's going to be one of, if not the villain in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I will say this. They're going to have to show us how she got there in the first place.
Yes.
You're right.
They do. They really do have to show that.
Because I'm very curious. And I feel like they're going to, because we're getting two different stories. On one side, Director Hayward says, oh, she just randomly just broke in and stole Vision's body and took over a city.
Right.
I feel like that's not the whole story.
I don't think so either.
You know?
And remember, that's a great point, because Hayward was all secretive about, you know, locating Vision and all that. Remember?
Yeah. Why are they tracking Vision? That's
that was so weird.
Oh, no, you just hit my mind. Someone said there's a theory out there that Hayward is actually Human Ultron, because in the comics there is Human Ultron, and he's tracking Vision because maybe he wants to get that body back, or it's something to do with the vibranium. That's what someone said. Yeah. Shit, I completely forgot about saying this. Yeah, I read this, and I was like, oh my god, that makes it even easier to kind of tell who's who now, because we haven't really seen the full potential of Ultron, and Ultron.
We haven't.
Think about it. Hayward's so against Vision.
Yeah.
I mean, so against the Vision and Wanda as well, specifically. Look at how he treated her. There's a clear agenda with Hayward, and look at all the secret things. The vibranium body. Yeah, why locate that?
No, why are they?
And you know about Wanda?
Why are they specifically tracking the vibranium decay?
Exactly.
Absolutely, because it's not about Wanda. It never was.
I think
he
Wanda
needs his Vision back.
I think Wanda is in the way of what he's really trying to get.
Right.
Right.
So if that's truly him, they will surely show like how he survived Age of Ultron and how he became who he did. Because that whole I didn't even realize like Human Ultron exists until I found out like not long ago, and then reading that I kind of went, oh my god, like. Yeah, it makes so much sense now with the tracking. Like, what other reason would he be tracking Vision? Okay, yeah, maybe Wanda took his body, but
it reminds me of in Matrix, the Matrix 2, when Agent Smith uploaded himself into that other guy.
Yep.
Exactly.
Very similar to that.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang, no, but see now you really messed me up, Shimon, because
bro, I feel like we were messing each other up earlier on. We were saying this, that. Like we have to wait till stream. Now I'm not gonna go sleep tonight. I'm gonna think there's a multiverse within our universe now. Like, oh man. But just imagine that though. That would be more mind blowing if that was real.
It would.
That'd be crazy.
That means my theory of Mitch being Paige Kennedy would make sense.
Marie, you got any
in the multiverse?
Okay, I actually do think Vision's gonna be live at the end of this, because I saw a clip of Bruce. I don't remember which movie it was from, but Bruce explaining to everyone that Vision isn't just the Mind Stone. He's a lot of other moving parts. So I'm thinking Wanda's powers kind of like jump-started him back up, and he doesn't necessarily need the Mind Stone anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were trying to separate him in Infinity War, and they said that, and perfectly you said, Emery. Like Banner says, perhaps without that we can remove the Mind Stone, and all the good stuff will be there. It's just like he won't have the Mind Stone.
Right.
And in the comic, he becomes there's that version of Vision where he loses all his color, and we kind of saw that when he died. Perhaps if they bring him back, he might be that color, but he has no emotion. He's pretty much more of an android. He loses all senses of like feel and stuff. And
I think in the comic they brought Wonder Man in and transferred Wonder Man's essence into Vision's body.
Yeah.
That was I don't know, that might be too much to do at this particular moment because nobody knows.
I mean, Wonder Man has been in the. I heard one rumor about him being introduced, and that'll be a good introduction for him. I mean, at the end of the day, they're really trying to expand this universe and add more characters within series. Whereas before it's through the films. Now you got more places to introduce and develop characters. So it's like you can juggle more in the same time period. But yeah, man, that would be dope if they introduce him.
It would. There's by the way, and I didn't send it to you yet, Shimon, but everybody here, when we hang up, when we end the stream, I'm going to send you guys this link of something that blew my mind. This guy had this idea of how he can introduce the Fantastic Four with the movies that already exist and where they came from. I was like,
ooh.
I can't wait to see that.
Man, I'm gonna once we end here, I'm gonna send it to you guys because I was like, this is genius, and they need to hire this man. That's a great idea. But man, this is one of the very few shows that always has me paranoid and upset. To the point where I'm looking up a new theory video every day until
that's why I love Marvel.
Every day.
Crazy.
Especially if you're a creator as well, like you're doing both. I'm like, although I haven't really posted much about Marvel, I really want to talk more about it and then look at other theories and stuff, and then come back, and then discussions like this, you're just like, your mind keeps blowing and blowing, and the more you find out, you're just like, oh, we're getting like. It just gets more insane, doesn't it?
It does.
Dude, I really hope. I really hope we do have a really big cameo there with someone where we may have not seen for a while, or perhaps someone from X-Men, because that would be pretty cool because we haven't really seen anyone from X-Men for a while. So
Magneto. I predicted Magneto.
Magneto would be so cool.
It's possible.
Well, that would be
insane. I'm just thinking because like Quicksilver is in it, right? And that Quicksilver was in the other X-Men movie, right? Whereas though Magneto was his father and whatnot,
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just want people to live, man. I just want people to live.
You want people to live, but you're saying Vision ain't gonna leave, bro.
I just want it shook my faith. Emery made me feel better because of what she said, what they said about Vision living. It's just with that scene they showed us, like, shook my faith of if he would actually survive outside now or not.
It was quite sad for him. It's like he's like a sad tale. You know, something you tell your kids, like a sad story in the night. Like that's the story you say about Vision.
Here's a thing that I haven't thought about until just now. Do you think before Wanda put that red firewall around Westview, do you think Vision could have successfully walked out of that original portal?
Well, he was dead, wasn't he?
I mean, he was still the Vision walking around in WandaVision. I'm just saying, without that red firewall that Wanda put on it.
Yeah. Because it was a regular. It was a regular
right.
before it became that red glowing one.
I think so.
You know what? Here's my thought. Right, I think prior to it becoming red, I think yes, because of how Monica went in wearing one thing, and then came out wearing another thing. But it was still made up of the material of the original thing she wore when she went in there. So I was thinking, okay, Vision can go in dead and come out alive.
Right. Makes sense.
It only makes sense. It's the same material. And then wait, I got a Twitch comment of somebody saying WandaVision explanation Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little too far-fetched. And that's a little too far. That's another X-Men character that
Mojo.
Yeah, Mojo. He's that big ugly creature that was inside that chair, the big blob-looking dude. With
that guy.
His head.
Yeah, I don't know if they would bring him in.
MODOK coming into MCU, but MODOK would be hilarious.
MODOK, I think.
They could do MODOK. They did a good job with MODOK. Are they going to do MODOK like the genuine like MODOK from the cartoon?
They have to do MODOK.
He's sat in that little chair and he's like square and he's like he's like a mug. If you think about the shape of him, like little legs, little arms. I mean, that would be pretty. I could not take him seriously. That's
no. I wouldn't be able to either.
I don't know, man. They could. I mean, it would be pretty funny to see him like that, but yeah, it would be more of a joke, wouldn't it?
It would.
Well, he was quite funny anyway. I mean, I wouldn't mind them kind of bringing him in.
Yeah, but I
he
feel
would
like
definitely be CGI.
More than anything, because he'd just be annoying. He'd just be this headache.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel like he would be like the most annoying character from then on. I don't know why, but his vibe and the way he was in the cartoons, X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he would be really put well in like Guardians, perhaps, because of his like.
That would.
They're a bunch of
It's
just one of them characters, you know. But I'm gonna say my prediction for the ending is the big cameo is going to be something that sets up a future project. I don't think it's going to be a cameo that is just sort of nostalgia or just kind of there. I feel like it has to have repercussions and it has to tease something huge. So I mean, it might be obvious with the fact she says a big cameo, but that could mean anything.
Yeah.
I want to try and give you an answer. I don't want to be like all wishy-washy and beat around the bush. I generally want to give you an answer.
I'm at a loss at this point because of how many twists and turns I've seen.
Okay,
already.
I'm gonna say this: there's gonna be a big battle in the finale. Vision will survive, and he's probably gonna feel betrayed because of what he learns from Wanda. Perhaps that breaks up their relationship, and then Wanda's kind of lost, and she's even more vulnerable. And this is how she just kind of loses it. And then I think this is how Doctor Strange is concerned because. What Mitch said was very, very good point. It cracks the multiverse, the fact that she's lost her control, and then Doctor Strange comes in. So I think something's gonna happen to Wanda. That just makes it more insane. Like, do you know with Jean Grey and how we were saying, you know, Wolverine had to kill her because she would have killed everyone.
Right.
She was too powerful. Like, I feel like the same thing might happen here. They might. Just instead of killing someone, it's just that someone loses control and it just kind of creates more chaos.
Check out what
chaos magic.
Professor X.
Wifey is suggesting that Professor X could cameo.
Peter.
That would be amazing.
I would
It'd
like to
definitely be
see
somebody from
Those
X
would be
Men.
good.
I would like to see that. See what if they recast the character, that would be interesting. But I do feel bringing back McAvoy and like Fassbender as Magneto and what's his name? Professor X would be fantastic because those guys were.
Here's the question:
so good
if
at
they
them.
do bring them back, which iteration would they bring back? For Magneto, would it be Michael Fassbender or would it be Ian McKellen? For Professor X, would it be?
Well, I think it depends on the age of.
They're in the 90s now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't the man that played Vision give a hint that it was someone who he never worked with?
It's somebody that he's always wanted to work with.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that it may be one of the older ones, whether it be Patrick Stewart or
Patrick Stewart would be cool if they brought those guys back. I'd be cool with either. I think I just really liked. I feel like in terms of age and handling the character, if it is for years to come, I feel like Fassbender and McAvoy could do that. But they kind of put a close to their characters with Dark Phoenix, so I'm really not sure if they would be willing to come back. I don't know if you heard, but there was some mad casting rumors and things for Magneto. Some people wanted Giancarlo Esposito to play Magneto. The guy who played Gus from Breaking Bad, and he was in Mando as well. He'd be pretty huge casting for Professor X, but sorry, not Professor X. Magneto. I feel like for casting though, this is obviously they need to get it right with the X-Men. So, apart from Quicksilver, he's like the anomaly. I feel like you've got all these new X-Men characters that need to be recast because I just think you need a fresh start. You can't have that Fox kind of feel to it because people were disappointed with the Fox X-Men. Let's be honest.
And let's not even talk about, the Fox, both versions of the Fantastic Four. We won't even get into that.
Oh, no, thank you.
I feel like the Reed Richards from the first Fantastic Four film was great. I can't remember his name, but that actor, I liked him. I think he could come back. He was great. I really liked even The Thing as The Thing, and I don't know if he'll... There's been loads of casting rumors for that, but a lot of people feel that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are going to be Sue Storm and Reed Richards, and it makes sense. They're both together in real life, and I think they were both approached by Marvel, and they couldn't say what it was. But Krasinski, I think he said he wasn't going to be Reed or something, but I think that's cap. You're not going to tell anyone if you're coming back, Like Tom Holland said the other day about, I don't know about Garfield and Maguire coming back. Tom, stop capping. You definitely know something.
He's not a good
liar. On set, you know it. You know.
Yeah, give it up.
There's pictures of you filming.
Right.
You don't know who you filming with?
He leaked the entire film in the next month or something. I don't know.
They told that boy stop spilling the beans in every interview, so he had to shut up.
Yeah, unless you want to.
Him and Mark Ruffalo. I feel they used that as a marketing tool at some point. You knew it was obvious, but I think at first he messed up somewhere huge. And Mark Ruffalo ruined Endgame in an interview with Don Cheadle. You guys see that?
Yeah, he's like
yeah.
He's like, everybody dies, and he's like, dude. Why would you say that?
But you know what, though? I feel like some people didn't really take him seriously. Maybe people thought that was a thing.
Right, because that's a common joke.
Say that. And...
It's like the boy that cried wolf with Ruffalo, whereas Tom Holland, people are like, okay, yeah, he's definitely telling us the truth. He's just one of them sympathy kind of people,
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
I really enjoyed this. We definitely got to do it again, especially for the last... Even if it's not every single week, no matter what, we absolutely have to do it for the finale, if anything.
Yes.
Oh,
for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And just sharing, getting some feedback from all of you guys and throwing back and forth some theories that we may have is really, really fun.
Definitely, guys. I enjoyed it with all of you, and it's kind of great to talk to all of you as well. I was saying to GQ, because I don't really talk to you guys on a stream or anything, and I'm obviously not on Rizzle that much, so yeah, it was pretty fun.
I deleted my Rizzle, y'all. Shit got old.
You did?
Quick.
What?
I got rid of it. I got rid of Rizzle. I see y'all on
purpose?
Instagram. Yeah.
Sam said on purpose.
On purpose. Yeah. I see y'all on Instagram. I got
I
y'all on
mean,
Instagram.
even I'm not on Rizzle, but I didn't delete that.
I'm kind of just like with Rizzle. I'll pop in every now and then to have a few conversations with people, and maybe help cross promote some things that I'm doing. But I have to admit, I haven't been on there as much as of lately because of all the things that I've been working on. So, as a matter of fact, I got a podcast next after this, so I gotta wrap this up.
Wow, you busy?
You be working hard.
Yeah.
Man.
But nah, man, definitely we got to do this again. I will definitely be in touch with you guys.
Yeah,
I will let you know when we're going to do the next one.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No.
And you know what? Before we do, make sure you guys write up some notes so we can like check each other's notes and see what we think.
Okay.
Okay, that's a good shout.
All right.
Yes. All right, man. You all have a wonderful day. Take it easy and be safe.
Thanks,
All right.
man.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Take
Thank you,
care,
man.